Hey, what's up guys? Old School TCG here, and today I'm going to show you my Swiss rounds from a giant event that happened at a collectible exchange just a few weeks ago. This is going to be my perspective, obviously, and I'm going to show you the Swiss rounds from that. There were 63 players, so we had 6 rounds, and one of the rounds is going to be missing. I'll tell you guys when that round gets skipped. And let's just begin. So in this round, I am going first, and I draw into a pretty mediocre hand. I set this to a Nil Mega Hamster because I want to get the third Raikou out of my deck, and hopefully not draw into it, so I'm hoping that he attacks into me. But we will see what happens with that. So he normally summons Thunder King Ryo and attacks the hamster, in which I'll be able to get the Raikou to be set right back. And then I believe he just sets 1 or 2 and he passes the turn. Now, passes on over to me. I draw into Dad, which is a pretty good draw because in the late game it's going to be really good. I decided to hit the backer because I have Sirocco in hand, so I can just attack into the Thunder King Ryo. Hopefully he doesn't have an Honest. He just lets the Book of Moon die. I mill 3 pretty bad cards. Sack for Sirocco, attack into it. He doesn't have the Honest, so he takes 100. And then I just pass the turn. He draws for turn. He knows some Thunder King Ryo again. Activates Necro Valley, which I'm like, oh shit, this is a stun deck. And then he Royal Tributes my ass for all 5 cards on my hand. So at this moment, I'm like, shit. This is gonna suck. I draw. I can't use any card in my graveyard at this moment, so I don't even want to normal summon the Armageddonite. So I just pass the turn. So 9,000, so I believe I'm fine. Normal Summon's Gravekeeper's Assailant, which is an extra 2,000 booty to me. So I take 39. He sets a new card and passes the turn. Draw a Mirror Force. Great draw, by the way. I do 2 set and pass. He goes ahead and just, I believe he just, oh, he upstarts, so I get another 1,000 life points. And then, I believe he just goes ahead and attacks, which I will just Mirror Force him. He sets 1 and passes. I draw into a Vayu, which, no help, because I can't use its effect. I flip over the Armageddonite, I believe. I ask if it is summoned, so I get the effect to dump a Plague Spreader, I believe, at this moment. I consider the Vayu, but then I'm like, why am I an idiot? And I just go for the Plague Spreader because that's the only card that I can use. I believe we just attack for 14. We get our entry packs right there. I didn't pull anything from there, so I just deal 14, and I believe we just pass. Yeah, I set the Vayu and I just pass turn. He sets another card, I believe. And I draw into a trap, which I believe is Bottomless Trapple. And I just attack for another 14. This trap does shoot. So I am definitely screwed. He sets 1, passes. I draw into another trap. I attack for another 14. I'm at 61 to his 37. You know someone's Gravekeeper's coming up. I use Bottomless Trapple. Banish that shit. Draw turn. 14 again. He should be at 23. I go ahead and I torrential here because I really don't want the just him to have a free beat stick on the board. I draw into, I believe that is a Caius. So I'm at 71 because he uses 3rd upstart. I can't use Necro Valley. I can't use Vayu because of Necro Valley, and I'm like, god damn it. Royal Tribute throws away my Caius. I draw into another monster, and I believe I can't use it either. He goes with Commandant, which I take the 21, sorry. Set one pass. Ah, I see what it is. I deperson him. He sets his spy, which I know I'm in trouble now. Yep. I believe I'm in trouble at this moment. I'm a little mad that I set the trap dash at this moment, but whatever. Draw turn. Not a bad card to hit, actually. This is actually a really good card, but unfortunately I believe he does have Book of Moon set, which completely negates this. I go for the normal summon of Gale. I don't use the effect, and I should have, but whatever. I believe he has... Oh, that is... So I rip out his entire board, thank God. I don't know why I didn't go for value effects. Unless I didn't have one. Ah, I don't believe I had a Sirocco in the grave. No, I did. I totally did. I think this cost me the game. Yeah, okay, so I use the Necrogarno, which I shouldn't be able to do, but it's fine. He wins anyway. Yeah, can't do anything, so it doesn't matter. Let's. So yeah, we're talking about the Necrogarno thing, and so it didn't matter. But game two, I should have won that one, but I wasn't paying attention. And also, the Armageddon Knight effect to dump, I believe, the Plague Spreader. I set the Dimensional Prison, and I pass turn. Thunder King Ryo hits the board, and I immediately deprison it. Dump value with the Sirocco. I go ahead and I attack for 14 and 17. I get Mirror Force, which was perfect. I was looking for that. I banish the 2. Go into Armed Wing. I set, I believe, all 3. I accidentally hit my camera, and I pass turn. Necro Valley gets ripped, and I'm like, that's fine, actually, because he can't really do anything right now. I go ahead and draw into a Dust Tornado, I believe, which is a perfect card in this moment. So I believe I just set it and I pass. And I know that it's a spy set. So no, and I know he wants me to hit into it, so I just draw for turn. There's the Dust Tornado. The other card, I believe, was a bottomless then. So I draw for turn. I immediately Dust Tornado his Necro Valley. And then I go ahead and I activate Bear from the Dimension. Personally, I probably should have done the Plague Spreader first, but whatever. I think I wanted to keep that card in my hand. I just start swinging in. I smack the other card. I set and I pass. Yeah, I believe that is a Necrogardener, so I didn't want to put that back on top of my deck. I want to hit the grave. He steals, grabs back both spies. He sets one. Pretty sure he's going to set one of the spies. Oh, he doesn't. He actually just wants to take the damage. I have a Rhoda, which I'm really tempted to use, and I do. Grab Armageddonite. I solemn that. I believe I dump another copy of Bayou. Just get it out of the grave. Or to get out of the deck, sorry. I attacked into him for a lot of damage. 14, 23, and 23. He is at 2,000 life points, or 3,000. He's at 2,000 life points, and I pass turn. He sets, I believe, he mind controls, in which he thinks that is a good card, and it's only a Necrogardener. He was hoping for a Raikou, just to get rid of all my armed wings, but it's not. Sets spy, sets a new card, passes the turn. Now, I could have gone for a really fun play, which I could have gone for Plague Spreader and go into Mistworm and just bounce all three of his cards, but I'm pretty sure he had Torrential set at this moment. Oh no, he already used it. I should have gone for it. Whatever. I switched the Necrogardener and the Armageddon to defense, and I pass the turn. He books down the spy to flip it back over to get out Gravekeeper's Descendant. And then he goes priority. In which he's going to sack it to try to destroy, I believe, the Armed Wing. Hits the Armed Wing, and I go ahead and bottomless it. He sits another spy and passes turn. Yeah, I turn my own board so I can go ahead and use the Bayou that's in my grave and win the game from there. Moving on to game 3, in which my hand looks pretty good, all things considered. Northstone's Necro Valley. Now, I could have done a few plays, but I was really worried about the fact that he might have a knock or anything around that area, so I didn't want to go for the Raikou play immediately, so I just Northsummoned the Sirocco instead. Northsummon Sirocco. He's a bottomless it, which I say, that's fine. I set my own bottomless, and I just pass the turn. He just attacks 2,000, and I take it. He sets one back. I believe he sets one back row, and then he passes the turn. I draw into Caius. Not a bad card to draw. I go ahead and charge Light Brigade. Mill nothing of significance. Actually, I think that's both my Deep Prisons out. Yeah, both my Deep Prisons get milled immediately. And I lose a Dark Grepher. I go ahead and set the Raikou, and I pass turn. And I set the Burial, because I want to use it in a later moment. Now, I very well searched Raiko, and he immediately thinks that I did not set it. So, we will see what happens. And then I destroy the Necro Valley, which might have been a mistake, but I needed to get rid of it. He sets 2, sets a new card, and passes turn. I draw for turn. I immediately try to break control till I can take his monster, and I believe he books it. He does. So I can't Caius, but thankfully I have an extra play. I know some of the card trooper. And I effect mill 3, hitting Dad, MST, and Heavy Storm. My mills have been fantastic this game. I believe I just pass, yeah. It flips over to the Descendant, in which I should have just let this hit the board, but whatever. He goes for the Cyber Dragon, and I'm just like, why the fuck do you have this? It didn't make sense to me that he had this in his board against me, but whatever. He summons another Descendant, attacks for 2,000, and 15 to 35. I draw to return, which is a good card. Set the value, set the return, and pass. Attacks with the Descendant. Kills the value. Attacks for 2,000, which I return from the dimension just to save myself from death. I bring out an attack. He does not attack it. He passes and I bring it there. I use Value's effect. Go for Armed Wing. I believe I'm considering distributing it, but instead I go for the Rhoda play because I have a higher level play in mind. Normal summon Armageddon Knight effect. Go ahead and dump the Plague Spreader out of my deck. Plague's effects come out. He does not have Torrential Tribute, which is what I was hoping he did. And I go to Stardust. I activate Burial. So I am cooking. Bring back all 3 of these cards. Go for an Armor Master. He's mad because he has Mirror Force set and he can't use it because of my Stardust. I do attack with this, which may have been a mistake, but now I believe he does not have Deprison. Yeah, I was very rusty in the first round, but I pick up the pace in the next few rounds. He activates Steel to grab back Assailant and Descendant. He switched from Cyber Dragon again, and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? He drew both. He attacks and I take 700. I'm down to 150 life points to his 5100. I draw back to Machias. I attack with the Armor Master. And I was actually scared that he saved the Deep Prison for now, but so I didn't attack with the Stardust Dragon, but I should have just attacked with it because he didn't do it last turn. But it's fine. We still weren't running into time right now. Draw into my Icarus attack. I go ahead and use my Plague effect. And then I tribute to banish the monster. Which he takes 1,000. He's now down to 37. He mirror forces. I use Stardust Dragon. 24 and 25. And he loses. So, round 1 I win. So, beat Gravekeepers. So, at this point, this is skipping immediately over to round 3. So, my round 2 opponent asked me to not record our match because he wants to keep his deck hidden as much as possible, to which I obliged, but I am also petty. He was playing a type of Spellcaster Stun deck, in which he was main decking Kaiku at 3, Breaker. There was this one spellcaster that could put a counter onto it, and whenever a spellcaster card would die, he could just remove the counter instead, only one time. He was playing 3 copies of Secret Village of the Spellcasters. The thing that really killed me was the fact that he was on 3 copies of Kaiku. In game 1, that severely fucked me up, and I just couldn't climb back in game 3. So that was my first loss of the weekend, was to Spellcaster Stun. Now we're moving on into round 3. So I believe he wants the die roll. He knows someone's Armageddonite, so I'm like, cool, this is a mirror match. He dumps a Vayu. He sets 1 card, and he passes the turn. I draw. He doesn't have anything, so I just set the Nimble Hamster, set the Trap Dusty, and pass. I Trap Dusty him immediately. I see that he has Gale and Double Sirocco, and Solemn Judgment and Burial, so I go ahead and just get rid of the Gale, because I don't want him to go for a massive play for free. He takes 400, and I get to go ahead and bring out a Raikou for free. He passes the turn over to me. I draw for turn. Draw 2 Gores, which is pretty good. I start with Charge because I want to make sure that I can actually see my other Raikou and not have to lose it. Now, I could have just set the other Raikou and played a little bit more passively, but I decided to be more aggressive. So I hit the back row, which was return, which was insanely good for me. Mill nothing. I go ahead and I believe I tribute for Caius. Banish the Armageddonite, so he takes 1,000. And since I know he doesn't have Gores in his hand, I attack for 24 for free. So he takes a lot of damage in this turn. And I just pass turn. I have Gores and Necrogarden awaiting, so I should be fine. He sets a card, which I believe now is Raikou, because it's just, he didn't shuffle his hand or anything. I summon my Armageddonite, and I use the effect. I dump Plague Spreader. I do use the effective play because I want to see if he has it. I'm going for a very aggressive play because I don't believe he has Torrential. If he has Torrential, he has to lose a card. He summons to summon, so now I know I'm on free reign. He's down to 21. Ah, it's Spirit Reaper. That's what I'm like, oh, okay. That makes more sense. He says Trap Dust Shoot. Pass turn. I draw. He gets rid of my Gale, which does make sense. Forces me to set my right code. Gives him another turn to see if I can go for it. I should have put the Armageddon Knight in defense, but whatever. He attributes for Sirocco because he knows that card's going to die anyway. So he wants to just get as much damage in as possible. He sets the Solemn, and he passes turn. I draw Navayu. I hit the Sirocco because I also didn't know if he had a copy of Torrential or not. And I attack for game. So now we're moving on to game 2. Game 2, he's going first. I draw a pretty good hand. A lot of back row hay and a DD Crow. He just sets, and he does T-set pass. So I just set, I do the exact same play as he does, and I pass my turn. He minds controls, which is funny because it's Vayu. So he's like, shit. He does pop my card for me, but he wastes my control. This game I just get absolutely fucking blasted. Yeah, this game's not gonna go well for me. Yup, that's when I realize I am very much dead. I take a lot of damage. He passed the turn over to me. I draw into my Gale, which isn't the worst of cards, to be completely honest. Deal 11 to him, halving his Dark Arm, so now it's only a 14. I set 3 cards, trying to get the Mirror Force to be hidden. But this is a little bit rough because he goes... I decrease value so he doesn't have the 3rd Dark. He pops this one, which I'm like, shit, I still live. And then he goes Burial, and I'm like, never mind. Yeah, and I'm dead. Yeah, that one was brutal. So, moving on to game 3. Draw a pretty good hand, all things considered. Normal summon the card chipper, mill 3 immediately. Hit a Vayu. Set the Trap Dust Shoot, pass turn. I Trap Dust Shoot his ass. Realize that the best card in his hand is actually the card trooper. North someone's the Sirocco attacks. I draw into Plague Rudder. He sets either the Torrential or the Bottomless. I set the Icarus attack and I pass because I'm actually going to be very petty. I believe I hit his back row because I'm so petty. Yeah. He sets the Sirocco again. I should just Icarus attack and kill him. Yep, so I believe that's a Okay, so hold on. We need to go back. Why did he get rid of the Sirocco? I hit his back row specifically with Raikou. Set, pass. I attack, and I hit his back row, I believe. I say back row, which is bottomless. And I believe he tributes... Okay, so right there, he gets rid of the Sirocco for no reason. I don't know how much of this cost him the match, but this is definitely something that needs to be brought up. I just realized it as I'm recording this. I did not know that he tribute set a level 4. So we're gonna move on. But keep that in mind. I don't know why he threw them in the graveyard. That actually baffles me. So I'm just immediately going to Icarus attack, get rid of both of his cards. I use Vio's effect. Attack for 23. Set 2 and I pass. You know, some Sirocco, and I bottomless it immediately because I'm not letting that shit happen. Attack for 23. North Summon Armageddonite. Use effect to dump another Vio, I believe. I do. I use Charge the... He uses Charge the Light Brigade. Mills a Vio, I believe, which is very strong. Because he already has a Sirocco in the grave. Grabs Raikou. Normal summons the Sirocco again, in which I'm really considering just nuking the board, just to say no. I really should have just waited for him to use the effective Vayu, and I don't know why he didn't do it there. He's at 34. He goes down to 900. I set the bottomless and I pass turn. He changes Central Tribute, so it didn't matter if I changed his card or not. I pass turn. Now he decides to go for the Vayu effect, which doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. I just immediately banish that shit. He sets another card, sets 2, passes. I actually set the Plague Spreader because I believe that that's a It's a play spreader, and I believe he was hoping that was a Raikou. I believe he set Gale at this moment, and he was trying to get a Raikou to sync her for a 5. Funnily enough, it's not another Caius that I have, but it's funny what I draw. I draw 2 Caius and I win the game. And that's match. So I am now 2-1, and this match I am the most proud of. Um, you guys will see in game 3 just exactly what happens. I open up pretty okay. Not the best, not the worst. He knows someone's fine Gilman, sets 2 and passes. I draw into Gores, which I believe he just puts back immediately. Gores goes back to the deck. I know someone's Cigar Gruffer. So I just wanted to get rid of some cards in my deck, so I immediately go away and throw a Plague into the grave. I immediately go for a Crash, because I don't want him to have an extra 17 on the board. I set 2, or sorry, I just set I do set 2, and I pass. You know, someone's Neosalius, and I'm like, shit. I really didn't want him to get any free advantage with Gemini Spark, so I just immediately rip it. Me and him are talking about, do I rip the dad? Draw turn, and I do not draw dad. I drop right back into the Gores, which to me is hysterical. We're both setting and drawing. I like this game. I could have done a different play here, and I could have done a search effect with, or sorry, I could have gone return, bring back out the Dark Greffer effect, pitch the Necrogarna, dump value, but I didn't want to think that far. He goes ahead and finally gets Emergency Call. He goes ahead and searches for Alias from the Stratos after searching the Stratos from the Emergency Call. And at this moment, I believe I'm like, shit, I am so far behind. He doesn't attack, which I'm very like, why not? But whatever, it happens. I just pass turn, don't even want to know someone the Armageddon Knight or attack with it. You know someone's the Alias? I immediately jump to Mirror Force. Yeah, that hurt. That hurts massively. He chooses not to attack with the Stardust. I get Torrential, which I'm like, that's not a bad card, but I really need him to normal summon again for this card to work. I don't really remember game one. I believe I just scoop immediately. I'm so far behind. Yeah, I'm so far behind. I don't know if I missequenced that or not, but I probably did. Moving on to game two. Opening hand, not the worst. I did like that. I go ahead and normal summon Armageddon Knight. And I go ahead and immediately just dump a Plague Spreader. In which I immediately set my Trap Dust Shoot and Mind Crush, and I'm like, fuck yeah. I'll go for Trap Dust Shoot, and then he immediately MSTs the other card, and I'm like, shit. He drops the MST, and I'm like, fuck, what do I call? I should have called Emergency Call, that would have hit the most, but I call Neos Alias instead, and it punishes me for it. I should have hit the emergency call. If I said bottomless trap hole, I would have laughed so hard. In which the Necrogarden gets ripped, and I'm like, that's totally fine. So no Kaiku, which to me is like big. Double bottomless, soul release, and a mercy call, which he's about to grab, I believe. What's it called? I'm pretty sure he's gonna grab Stratos or Alias just to be a dick. Yep, so Stratos grabs Alias. So I still know his entire hand, but I'm also not happy because I had to waste a card. He attacks, I take it. Take 400. I believe I draw Burial, which will be really nice. But we will see. He's thinking about playing that soul release right now. He banishes all 5 of my cards. Oh, I draw Rhoda. I go for Rhoda to grab, I believe I grab Armanite. Oh, I see why I grabbed Dark Griffer, because I believe I'm going to lure. Honestly, that was fine by me. I believe we just attack with the Gorse because I just need to get that Neos Alias off the board so we can't get a Gemini Spark for free. Attack. I set 2 cards when I pass turn. I draw. I just attack with Gorse. He doesn't do a damn thing about it. Stratos dies, I believe. I just pass turn. He sets a card. Draw turn. Stone Eater to destroy the Gorse, which is fine. I just pass my turn again. I attack for 18. Draw on Shard's Life Brigade, which I think is a really good card in this moment. I should have used it immediately. See if I can hit the dad. You know, which I mill no darks, but I do find Reiko. I believe we just set the Reiko. If that that armor master, the Armageddon Knight was a really good draw. I hit that card. Into which I believe he goes in torrentials, and then I am immediately just like, nah, let's Starlight Road. This would be the best moment. Let's see how he feels. And the card I do hit is Solemn Judgment, so he solemns the fucking Starlight Road, and I'm like, shit, that hurts. I hit Vayu and and Gale. I know someone the Armageddon Knight. Dump Sirocco. We're gaming, ladies and gentlemen. We are gaming. I use Vayu's effect. Go for Armed Wing. He bottomlesses. And like, that's fine. Daddy's home. Bang. I hit the one on the right, into which he bottomlesses the other one. And then he immediately is like, nope, I can't do that. So, we win game 2. And then this next game, game 3, is probably my favorite game I have ever played. And you'll see exactly why. My opening hand, not bad. You know, someone's alias, sets 1, passes. I draw a Heavy Storm. I believe I just set 2 and pass, and it's the bottomless and the pulling. He attacks for 19, and I take it. Just sets a card and passes. I find Reiko, and I'm like, good. Set pass. This is when I enter alarm phase. Because that card actually fucks me up so bad. And that card actually is probably going to win him the match. So I immediately go into panic mode. I heavy store my own board. I cannot deal with the Grand Mole. He's thinking. If he has a Starlight Road, he wins the match. There's nothing I can do about it. But he allows it, and so everything dies. I lose both my Bottomless and my Pulling the Rug, and he loses his Dimensional Prison and Gemini Spark. I search for another copy of Raikou. I set the Raikou as a means to an end, and then I pass the turn. Now, he is a very smart player, and he just said that he thinks I have Gores, in which he is fully correct. I think he messes up pretty badly with the Neospatian Grand Mole. I hit the Neos Alias. He doesn't even want to deal with the So, funnily enough, he doesn't banish every single monster. I draw into Torrential, which is not a bad card. I set the Raikou. I set 2, and I pass. Both these cards will be live no matter what happens. You know, someone's the Grand Mole, and I'm like, get rid of that bitch. I cannot deal with Grand Mole the entire game. I lose my Raikou, which is fine, but I get rid of his monster, which is more important. This is where I think I should have just not set that, but I had the Pulling the Rug, so I was fine for another turn. Or sorry, I had the Burial, so I was fine for another turn. I should not have set that Pulling the Rug at that moment, but I actually think it saves me a lot of time. He sets the Snowman Eater and passes, and I immediately draw into another card, so I'm just like, fuck it, I already set 2, set Mirror Force as well. Pass. Draw Icarus attack, pass. He knows someone's Deep Sea Diva, into which I immediately was Pulling the Rug it. He does Miracle Fusion, which is a big card. He attacks, into which I Mirror Force. I draw into Dad, which is a big card. I immediately just pass turn. He activates another Miracle Fusion, which I'm like, okay, that's 2 down. Before he declares an attack, I immediately go ahead and just put those 3 back in the grave. He's like, holy shit. So on this one, I should have just waited for the battle step. When he attacks, and just use the burial then. But I wanted to do it now as a means to like be like, are you going to attack? Yes or no. I'm double gaming him on this one because I have the Dad ready to go. I take 25. And then I drop the Gores. He destroys my own cores. Fine by me. Now I know I'm safe for a few more turns. He passes. I draw into Allure of Darkness. That Allure of Darkness will never get used. I Brink on to take his Absolute Zero because I want to go for a lot of damage. Or to get rid of a Mirror Force. And he says that, I'm like, what? No, no, give me that. Give me the other card. Fuck you. I attack for 3,000. Into which I believe he depersons his own card. Gets rid of my token. Fine by me. I set the Icarus attack and I pass turn. Sorry, this game's sort of taking a little bit longer than usual. This is high intensity, so people are thinking. In which I lose the token. I set the Icarus and I pass turn. He switches that to defense. I draw into return, which I'm like, that's a great card. And I set it, I believe. And I use pass turn. I draw into Rhoda. This is the turn of the century. I am not going to lie to you guys. This turn means everything. I drop Dad. And I immediately hit his other face down. And there's reason why I hit his other face down. Because I know he has a Gemini Spark set and I want him to use it later. The bottomless goes through, and I say, that's okay. I get rid of his other Snowman Eater. I go for Rhoda. Search Armageddonite. Northwind Armageddonite, and I use the effect, dumping a Vayu. I use Vayu's effect. When he said this, my heart sank because I believed he had a Transmigration Prophecy set, and I was about to be like, oh shit. So I immediately use Vayu's effect. And I go into Armed Wing. I enter battle. Attack. He activates MST, hits my back row. One of my back row. I chain it. Return from the different dimension. In fact, I'm going to stop talking and let this show itself.
So it is battle set? Sure. Oh, chain?
Oh, I see. Learn something new every day.
Sure. 14.
Every day we straight for it.
So, As you guys just heard, my voice cracked because I am ecstatic that this entire turn worked. He goes ahead and activates Miracle Fusion, but I believe I have this game under lock. He goes for his third Absolute Zero. He attacks and I immediately Necro Garden no matter what he was going to attack into. I draw into Vayu. That is actually the perfect card I needed. I set the Vayu. And I attack. And I immediately go into my Silver One the Ascendant, into which I am on God Tier mode. He knows summons Diva to go into Magical Android. I will let you guys know the time is coming up really soon. It is about maybe 2 minutes left. But this duelist has way too much respect for other players, so he doesn't go for a time scam. Draw Nikias. I attack for another 52. And he just scoops. Yeah, he even says that he doesn't want to lose. He doesn't want to win because of a time scam. He has too much pride for that. And my hand, you can't see it at the moment, but my hand is actually shaking. That was probably the best UI I ever played. Now moving on to the final 2 rounds. This is against Blackwings. Now see, these last 2 rounds are a bit of a blur. So I just set that and I pass turn. He activates Black Whirlwind, no summons Bora, and I'm like, shit. I should have just done the torrential. But whatever. I had 3 darks, which puts me exactly at dad range. And we are already God Gaming. I should know someone the I believe he synchros into a copy of Brio. Armed Wing. He wants to get more damage in. I was perfectly fine with that Icarus attack. Special Armed Wing. Attack for 23. I set the Solemn Judgment and I pass turn. Heavy Storms, that's fine. He had both of his back row hate. Attack 23. Since he has nothing, game. Yep, moving on to game 2. He goes with the Blackwing special, Black Whirlwind and Shura in the first turn, so I already know I'm on the back foot. So there's a Blizzard, so I should be aware that he probably has a copy of Kalut in his hand. He sets 2 cards immediately, and he passes the turn. I draw into Gale. I know some card chipper. I use its effect to mill. Mill of Vayu, which I'm like, sick. I attack, which I get depersoned, and I'm like, okay. I set 1. Gets MST'd, and I'm like, uh-oh. Because he could easily kill me this turn if he's got a correct setup. He tributes for Sirocco, which is alarming to me. He searches for Gale, and I'm like, that's fine. He pumps for 33, into which I do not have Gores. He goes for Stardust. Pass turn. Pitch the Vayu. Dump Sirocco. He's left at 200 life points, so I think I have this game in the bag. And then he comes out of left field. Unfortunately, I lose this turn. Because all he has to do is go for Breenak, just drop 2 cards, and I lose the game. Because I couldn't half the card with Gale. A little frustrated at myself. Could have possibly had a chance to win that. So, moving on to game 3. I draw an okay hand. Normal summon Armageddonite. Nice effect. Dump Plague. I set, I believe, Bottomless and an Icarus attack, which I should have just set the Deep Prison instead. He lures. Banishes Blizzard. Draws on a Heavy Storm, and I'm like, shit. Has Shura, attacks. I take 400. He takes another 13. He soul releases, and I'm like, uh-oh. I draw a Dark Grepher, into which I can do a few plays. But I think I only set 3 and I pass. He's got no more heavy storms, so he can't do anything about that. He gets rid of the bottomless, which is big. I believe he just attacks for 13 and 18 respectively. He synchros into Black Rose and blows up my board, and I chain the burial from the dimension. Just to get those 2 cards back in my grave. He drops another Shura, and I'm like, great, thanks. 18. This card helps. So I go for a more conservative play line. I know some of the Gale, and I half it, and I attack. Unfortunately, he drops Kalu, and I'm like, ugh, shit. He goes in and brings out another Kalu, in which he passes the turn. Which I pass turn, he summons Sirocco. I take 219. And then he's got a Scott game. And I'm like, yeah, of course. I got really, really frustrated at that Blackwing player. But moving on. Final round. This is where I do a pretty big blunder, I'm going to say. He sets 1. He hits one of my Raikos out. I set the Raiko. I set the bottomless and I pass. He activates my control and I'm like, that fucking sucks. And to which I'm also like, main deck mind control? That doesn't make sense. So at this moment, I think he's on a very weird list of something. You know, someone's Deep Sea Diva, which in hindsight should have been recognized as, oh, hey, you're playing against zombies. But at the moment, I was sincerely thinking that this was a hero build, a very weird hero build. I don't know why my brain thought that, but it did. So I pretty much lose the game from this moment, which blows, but whatever. Because I don't really get into anything, and he has all the responses, so he goes into Goyo, which deal a lot of damage, and he goes for Armageddonite. Or sorry, Armor Arm. Attacks for 18 to 28. In which I'm at 34. I go ahead and set 2. And hope for the best. Yeah, we go to the next game because I didn't draw anything out of it, so. I incorrectly side. Because I thought this was a hero diva list. Or diva hero zombie at the most. I draw in pretty alright hand, all things considered. I immediately North Summon Dark Griffer, pitch the Plague Spreaders, and I dump Necro with it. Into which I set the Torrential and I pass turn. He sets 1, which I believe is a Snowman Eater at this moment, and passes. I go ahead and get the stones into the grave. I go for value effect. He has Pyramid Turtle, and that's when I immediately go, shit. This sucks. He goes ahead and brings a Goblin Zombie, which, in my mind, I'm like, that's fine, as long as he didn't bring another Pyramid Turtle. I immediately just set it and I pass. And I'm like, he has to have Place Spreader already to do anything. And even then, I do have a copy of Torrential set. He searches Mizuki, so that tells me that he either has Zombie Master in hand. Draw for turn. I go Graphics Effect another time, dumping another Vayu, and I think I dumped 2 Vayus, yeah, because I want to get the other one in the graveyard just in JIC. I use Place Effect. I Synchro to go into, I believe, Stardust Dragon. I Synchro, or I use the effective value to go for Armor Master. 17. So I set and pass, and I'm like, geez, Chacodia actually kind of hurts. I don't know why he didn't use Deep Sea Diva's effect, or if he could, because it was mandatory, but whatever. This game was blurred to me. I think I felt pretty sick after that last round. So, I should have just sacked my own um, Stardust at this point, but whatever. I believe that when I have the set return, I believe I was in an okay position. I believe I was in an insanely good position as of this moment. I believe I blunder at this moment, but we'll see what happens. I super believe I misplayed here. I get really aggressive. I go for Darken, and the reason why is because I really believe that he has a Gores waiting. He's at 12. And I believe he just cracks back and wins the next turn. But let's see what happens. Norseman Zombie Master. Pitches Plague Spreader, special summons out Goblin Zombie. Bear from the Dimensions. Mizuki brings back the Plague, and I believe at this moment is when I realize I'm dead. I Necro Gardener, the Goyo attack into my Dark End, which I believe saves me a lot of time, or saves me from just outright losing at this moment. But I still believe that this game is over, and I think he wins. As of this moment, I am 3-2, and I believe that this is coming to a close. He uses Plague Spur's effect, I believe, right here. Synchros those two off into Dark End itself, sends my own. I draw for turn. I attack into the Dark End because I think that I still have another chance. I'm a fucking idiot. Oh my god, he never should have been able to win that game. Oh. I just realized it. Alright, to everyone that is watching, if you also did not catch it, he could not have summoned out that Dark End. Oh, I am so stupid. I'm actually mad. I am actually mad now. Oh my god, that actually does piss me off. He never should have been able to summon that Dark End Dragon. Oh, damn. That really does suck. Wow. Well, we learn. Wow, that is 2 mistakes that I learned from this single video. Wow, I am so frustrated about that. Mill Trap does shoot. Thank God. I set the bottomless pass turn. Mill Fossil Dyna. Wow. Well, here's the end of the video. Don't have anything. surprisingly enough, I actually don't have enough to work with because all of my Blackwings are banished. I put back the Vaio as a bluff, I believe. Or no, I put back the Sirocco. Is where she Transmigration Prophecies. Is she respect those two? Oh my god. I don't believe he ever should have won that match. Well, we live and we learn. Thanks for watching this video. I'm so sorry that you guys had to see a few of those misplays and things like that. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I will see you guys next time.